Welcome to Who Yelling Now, Season 4, Episode 5, copyright Mackenzie, titled The Auction of Identity. There was a time when identity was inherited. You were born into a family, a place, a language, a lineage. Identity explained where you came from. It wasn't something you performed. It wasn't something you proved. And then something shifted. Slowly, quietly. Identity stopped being something you carried and started becoming something you showed. Something you verified, something you defended, something you sold. Today, identity is no longer just who you are. It's how you are categorized, sorted, targeted, marketed. Identity answers questions like, who listens to you? Who believes you? Who protects you? Who profits from you? Identity has become resale value. Imagine an auction. Not loud, not chaotic, quiet, polite. People hold numbered petals. Items are presented under clean light. Each one introduced with a story, a provenance, a justification for worth. Now, imagine those items are not objects. They are people. A voice calls out, ancestry verified. Another adds, lived experience documented. Another, trauma, credible, very credible trauma. Another, identity marketable? Yes. The bid rises, not always in money, in attention, in credibility, in protection, in access. Some identities rise quickly, others stall. Not because one is more real, because one sells better. My dearest listeners, here is a story I call The Tale of Two Talents. There were two performers. Their names were Danny Olmos and Rebecca Willing. They arrived at the same audition. Different doors, same building, same promise. Danny Olmos came from Vermont. Generations of lawyers, intellectuals, dinner conversations about books, theories, and ideas that weren't written to sell. No dramatic origin story. No generational trauma neatly packaged. Danny was a vocalist, a real one. He wrote stories about love without spectacular loss, without theoretical thoughts that lingered instead of exploding. His voice didn't fight the room, it settled it. When asked about his background, Danny said, "My family always been steady." Someone nodded. Yep. Someone wrote clean sound on their notepad. Another wrote, hard to position. Rebecca Willing entered differently. She was a rap artist. Her music hit hard. Her body moved like punctuation, sharp and intentional. Her bump and grind wasn't imitation, it was command. Her family story arrived before she did. Inner city roots, parents who climbed, poverty who turned into proximity to the American dream. Upper middle class, just close enough to see what had once been denied. They poured everything into her. Lessons, tutors, studios. Rebecca wasn't survival. She was proof at the table. The question shifted. They asked her things such as, not what do you write about, but where did you come from? How did you learn your craft? What did you overcome? Rebecca answered honestly. She had nothing to hide. One of the bidders, he leaned forward. Another one smiled. They started whispering and talking amongst themselves. Someone said, now that's a story. The bidding didn't start out loud. It never does. Danny was praised. You're thoughtful. You're refined. We just need to find a way to position you. He was offered patience instead of money, development instead of ownership, time instead of certainty. Rebecca was fast-tracked. Her story fit. Her ancestry sold struggle. Her body sold movement. Her parents' climb became a headline. A narrative was drafted before her first album was finished. She wasn't just an artist. She was alignment. Rebecca rose quickly. Interviews opened with her family history. Awards praise her authenticity, her pain, inherited, imagined drama became her currency. She was asked to repeat it again and again and again. Her talent followed her story like a footnote. Danny waited. He kept writing. He kept refining. He kept being told he was almost there. Eventually, someone suggested a rebrand. Is there a struggle we can highlight, Danny? Anything formative? Danny learned how to excavate meaning, not from his life, from expectations. Rebecca began to feel trapped. Every appearance required the same edge, the same narrative. There was no room for softness, no room for evolution. Her family climb, once sacred, was now public property. She wasn't guiding her future. She was maintaining the product. Years later, both were successful. On paper, Danny had learned how to sell depth. Rebecca had learned how to survive being sold. Neither owned themselves anymore. And the companies, they congratulated themselves on diversity, on vision, on profit. Then they cleared the room, prepare the next audition. This is what happens when identity becomes real sale value. Here's a poem to get your mind on proving your self-worth. It's called Proof of Purchase. Show me your roots, but keep them neat. Make it easy, make it sweet. Bring receipts, scars, and proof. Make your suffering bulletproof. If it's messy, deep, or long, we'll say the timing's wrong. If it fits the frame we sell, we'll raise the bid and ring the bell. Some get chosen, some get denied. If identity sells, someone sets the price. My friends, identity isn't erased, it's priced. Here's the danger. When identity becomes an asset, people begin living inside the version that protects them, feeds them, keeps them visible. They don't lie, they adapt. But adaptation has a cost. Complexity disappears. Human beings flatten into categories. And categories are easy to manage, easy to exploit, easy to discard. If identity sells, someone else controls the demand. They decide who is believed, who is amplified, who is questioned, who is erased. This isn't representation, it's a market. Here's a poem I call The Door. Identity is a door, not a wall, not a mirror. A door. It swings back and forth. Each time it opens, you can accept what's waiting. Each time it closes, you can leave something behind. Some step through willingly. Some are pushed. Some stand in the frame so long they forget which side is theirs. You can wear an identity. You can reshape it. You can let it harden around you until it becomes weight. You can merge identities until none of them feel whole. Each swing costs something. Stay too long, you lose what you didn't protect. Walk through, you lose what you didn't bring. The market tells you, choose what sells. Choose what survives. Choose what keeps the door open. But the door doesn't care why you crossed it. It only remembers that you did. So, the question isn't, wish identity fits. Every door closes. Not every self survives the swing. My fellow yellers, we started this season asking, who owns the past? Then we asked, who controls memory? Who decides which pain circulates? Now we have to ask, who profits from identity? And what happens to people when they are only allowed to exist as something worth buying? Next episode, we'll talk about forgetting who benefits from it and why amnesia is often the most profitable product of all. This has been Who Yelling Now? See you in the next episode.